What up, guys? Sound Alchemist here with
Gersh1,
and we're back at it again to answer your questions in another episode of For the Greater. This is a question and answer video where we answer your questions. You guys put
question in front of your question, and that's why we're answering your questions. We do that because it's easier for us to get to the questions in the comment section, because you guys usually comment on the concerns that you have about our answers on these questions.
That's right.
So this is a video series where we answer those questions.
If you guys haven't already, get your bottles of Jack Daniels ready, or any other alcoholic beverage, or Sunny D if you're like that.
Sunny D can get you just as messed up as any alcoholic beverage, so bust out that Sunny D.
Yeah, take a shot every time we say question. It works best if you go back to the start of the video and begin there.
If you want to die.
Yeah, because we said question like 42 times.
If you don't want to make it to the end of the video.
If you don't even want to get to the questions themselves.
Just drink the bottle.
Yeah.
R. Rod asked the question. This is a really good question. Are any rivalries between Spacemarine chapters? If so, can you mention the most famous rivalries?
Ooh, this is a good one. First one that comes to mind is the Space Wolves and the Thousand Suns.
Second one that comes to mind is the Space Wolves and the Dark Angels.
Third one that comes to mind is the Space Wolves and the Inquisition.
And the fourth one that comes to mind is the Space Wolves and every fucking body else. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Space Wolves just hate everybody.
Yeah, they do. They think they're better than everybody, and you know, for the most part, they are.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a Space Wolf, you freaking fight against Kraken in like the most crazy world of like lava and ice.
Exactly. It's if your pet is an animal that could probably destroy an entire ecosystem in any other planet, then you're probably one of the toughest people in the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you say no to the guys that give you weapons and freaking tell you where to go fight, you're a badass.
Yeah, yeah. So definitely any rivalry between the Space Wolves and anybody else. The Dark Angels is a really interesting one, because the way that it happened was that back in 30K, when the Primarchs were still with their legions, there was, I think it was an Imperial governor who was rebelling against the Imperium.
Yep.
So of course the Space Wolves and the Dark Angels were sent out to pacify that region. They pissed off the Space Wolves so much, specifically the Primarch Leman Russ, that he wanted to personally take down that governor. And that governor ended up getting killed, not by Leman Russ, but by
Lionel Johnson.
Right, so Leman Russ entered the room while Lionel Johnson was killing or decapitating this governor, and he was so angry that he just straight up punched the lion in the face. The lion, of course, didn't take that, you know, just so he went at it too. And they were in like a horrible brawl that lasted a couple days.
Yeah, it was like 2 or 3 days. They were just going at it.
And then finally, Leman Russ realized, you know,
this is stupid.
Yeah, this is stupid. So he started laughing. He didn't explain it. He just started laughing. And Lion saw this as like a huge insult because he thought he was laughing at him. And then he ended up socking him so hard in the face that it knocked him out. By the time the Leman Russ woke up, the Lion and his legion were gone, but now that rivalry maintained. And whenever the Dark Angels and the Space Wolves get together, they have like ceremonial battles.
Yeah, friendly battles that usually end in somebody dying.
Yeah. It's all fun and games until a Space Marine dies.
Yeah.
That's probably, I think, the most famous and most entertaining. Because the one with the Thousand Suns is kind of like hardcore.
Yeah, that's, I mean, if you break somebody's back, then you kind of have to get them back.
Yeah. Next question.
This one's by Cal Skitara. This question says, why isn't the Emperor killed and then, due to his perpetual nature, revived? Wouldn't this solve some shit? And by the way, why isn't the Dark Angels chapter considered a secret traitor? So 2 questions here. First question is, why don't you just kill the Emperor and make him revive? If you kill the guy that's basically guiding the whole Imperium, you're gonna mess some stuff up.
It's the equivalence of shutting off the light for the U.S. It's happened on the East Coast before, And when that happened, when the power went out, basically, on the East Coast, it was catastrophe. It was only for a couple minutes, but it was catastrophe.
Yeah, looters, fires. Yeah.
People who depend on electricity to power their machines that keep them alive died.
Yeah.
So the same thing would happen in the Imperium, just multiplied by 1,000,000.
And also, you're also gonna let a flood of demons come in from like the warp into reality.
Yeah, so they would consume the entire planet, and by the time the Emperor is revived, there will be no Terra.
Yeah, there's nothing to save, essentially.
Yeah.
And the next one is, why are the Dark Angels not considered traitor?
I think they are by many chapters. They're seen as like not trustworthy.
Yeah, it's there's like a gray line, and the Dark Angels have their foot slightly past that gray line, but still within it.
Next question comes from Zamlin. What happened with the Angry Marines in 8th edition? So they are in the same spot that they have always been, in the hearts and mind of everybody that plays.
Alexander Schneider. How would Super Mario and Yoshi hold up in a 40K universe?
Probably better than the Emperor of Mankind.
I think anybody would.
Yeah. They wouldn't have been corrupted.
No, they'd just eat some of those stars and they'd be good.
Next question comes from Fan9775. Why are Dark Angel's armor green, if not even dark green? Or it's not even darker green. Green is a cool color. And it is darker green. It's a darker green than the salamanders. Salamanders have a bright green.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say bright green, but it's brighter than the Dark Angel green.
There you go. Next question.
This one is by, we did this in the last one. Blood Angel. If 40K is set far off in the future, why do most buildings look medieval? Basically, it's because of their religion, their faith. Oh, that's my song right there. But anyway, it's the whole Gothic thing is based off of the main religion in the whole 40K universe. So that's why everything looks very medieval, I guess.
Yeah, this is supposed to be, it's based off of like the Inquisition and that era. And that era was full of medieval, or not medieval, but it's Gothic architecture. This question comes from Jordan Kelchel. I can't pronounce your last name, sorry, man. What is the name of the song in your outro? I'm not sure. Let me see if I can go to it really quick. Oh, that's Kanye West. Something about a god.
What's a goon to a god? Something like that?
No, so the song goes, what's a god to a king? No, it's, oh shit, now I forgot.
That song is pretty old.
It's like 5 years old. I think it's called God. It's Kanye West God. Look it up and you'll probably find it. But it's what's a king to a god, what's a god to a non-believer. That's how it goes. Next question.
This one's by Anton Scott. How did the Blood Ravens find out that their parent chapter is actually the Thousand Sons? I think it's, if we're going by the video games, I want to say it's one of their dreadnoughts. So like one of their ancient guys that actually fought in the Thousand Sons, he actually regained memories. So I think that's how they got to know about it. But don't quote me on that, because I'm not even sure if like that part of the game was considered canon or not. It's the Dawn of War series.
R. Rod asks, what is the reason for keeping the Grey Knights' existence a secret?
So Grey Knights are kept a secret because if you don't know about them, you can't prepare for them. Basically, they are like the strong hand of the Inquisition. And it's like, oh, if you think the Inquisition is just a bunch of like people and witch hunters and stuff, when you see a freaking Space Marine covered in like holy light, you're gonna be like, what the F is this? Head chopped off.
That's a really good explanation, or good reason. Next one.
This one's by Gummy Yellow. As a guardsman, is it heretical to add attachments to your last gun? I think it depends on where you're like what detachment you're from or whatever. So like if you're a Catachan fighter, then yeah, you got to put like camouflage on it. But if you're in a very strict regimental, something like the Cadians, then yeah, you got to be all like pristine and to the T of what your commander wants.
Yep. Brandon Ottman. So does Slaanesh have new updates for her or his army? I would like to start a Slaaneshi army. No new updates. Actually, the codex that showed up, it was for Plague Marines, and it was for just Chaos, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
So there might be some Slaaneshi or Sound or Noise Marine information in that Chaos codex, but other than that, I think that's it, right?
Because they've done like the blood or the corn. They did a corn update. They did the Zeech update, and now they're doing the whole Nurgle stuff with 8th edition. So if you're going by that logic, Slaanesh shouldn't be too far behind on their little update thing. So hopefully it's coming.
No, not hopefully. I want Orcs to come next. Next
well,
question.
if you're talking about Slaanesh, it better come.
Next question.
This one's by Adbad. Are you waiting for the return of the mighty squats to break the bounds and rain their righteous fury down on those who beg GW to imprison them?
Heck yeah. You know what would be really funny? Get rid of the Orcs as the funny race and put the squats in as the funny race. Because they're funny. It's just a bunch of like midgets running around with hammers. Power hammers.
That's scary.
Could you imagine like jump pack squats with hammers and they're just like holding the hammer like this? That would be freaking funny as hell.
Yeah.
I would play that army just for that model. Anyway, John Redcorn, which aircraft would you ride on in the Warhammer 40K universe, and also which character in 40K would you crack open a cold one with and drink with the boys with? He had a lot of wits in there.
So if I'm cracking a cold one with the boys, definitely I want Gaskell with me. Because as far as I know, he has a bunch of boys with him.
Yeah, that would be really awesome. I would have Lehman Russ, because he has, or the Space Wolves have a special type of alcoholic beverage that if you drink, you die.
Mm-hmm.
And deep down inside, I want to commit suicide. And then aircraft. What aircraft would you want to ride on?
Probably something red, because red goes faster.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm scared of heights.
I would want those jump packs that the Raven Wing... No, not Raven Wing. The Raven Guard have, but like in 30K. The ones that look like
wings.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. This one's by Alex Gigot, because I think it's French. What armies do you guys personally collect, and why?
Ooh.
So I've got Grey Knights, because when I got back to 7th edition, I wanted something separate from what I was used to, which was a Tau, and Grey Knights are pretty much the opposite.
Because he started playing Warhammer 40K, collected his army, we stopped playing for like 2-3 years, and he sold all his stuff, so he started over again.
So I'm like, yeah, I played too much Tau, let's go to Grey Knights. And then I missed the Tau, so I got Tau as well. And now I also play Space Marines.
Yep, he has his own special chapter where he has his lore and everything. Check out our 40 facts on the
Celestial Sons.
And then I have my main army, which is the Orcs. I've been collecting Orcs since I first started Warhammer 40K. It was not my first army, though.
No, we first got into, was it Space Wolves?
Space Wolves, yeah. So I still had some Space Wolf models, and I've always liked Space Wolf storyline in general, so then right after the Orcs, I started collecting some Space Wolves. I got me that box set with the Space Wolves and the Orcs. I forget what it's called.
Ooh, Blackreach?
It might be Blackreach. And so I have a bunch of sprues and stuff of Space Wolves, but I haven't built anything. Because I wanted to do like the special color scheme where it was like black and white. I got inspired by this guy on Instagram, and I started painting black and white, and I was like, oh shit, these colors are really hard to blend or to make look good. So I just gave that up. Then I started collecting Imperial Fist. I have a good portion. No, I don't. I have a unit of Space Marines, and then I have a drop pod
and a dreadnought.
And a dreadnought that's painted, not assembled. And then I got a box of Scutari, because fuck it, right? I was at GW and I saw it, and I was like, I got some extra money. Why not just get a box set? So I got Scutari. But again, they're in the box, they're sprued and everything. That's it.
Yeah, so that's our armies, and that's our reason why we have them.
Yeah. Next question.
Oh, he's also got a part 2.
Oh.
So, what armies do you like to fight on the tabletop most? To fight against? Huh. I feel like I like having a... I feel like it's always a good time when I'm fighting against orcs. Because it makes me feel good.
I'm an orc player, so I enjoy playing... I want to say Tyranids, but not really, because Tyranids are the same thing. They have a lot of models. So it's just a really long, sweaty game. Because you're just standing there, like, moving your models, and like you have to reach a certain way so that your models don't hit each other and collapse. And in the process, of course, you sweat. So it gets really sweaty and hot. So if I were to say, I would have to say Space Marines.
Good answer.
Yeah. Next question.
This one's by Zabook15. Could mankind use orc psychic powers to heal the Emperor? For example, kill all but one orc in a mob and send him in with a single message to the rest of the orcs. The Emperor is the man of healing. Repeat this till he is healed.
No. Because that doesn't make sense. You can't tell an orc to believe something and he's gonna believe it. It just doesn't happen that way. They're biologically engineered to battle. So if you give it a message, all that it's gonna do, it's gonna think, well, how can I kill the person who's talking to me? And that's it. Orcs don't think that way, and they can't influence other people either, or other non-orc people. Anyways, does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
This question comes from Matt. Do tech marines talk shop with rogue traders? They do.
Yeah.
They sit around and they're like, oh, have you seen the latest iPhone 1 million? And then there you go. They take it from there.
Mm-hmm. Dragon Punch. Do y'all like Kool-Aid? I'll send you some Kool-Aid. What kind of Kool-Aid?
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of Kool-Aid.
I used to have Kool-Aid back in the day, and now it's all about Sunny D.
Sunny D!
Mm-hmm.
This question comes from Alex. Oh, you read that one because I remember you said you couldn't pronounce that word. So let's move on. You have the last question.
Last question here. Nova. What would an Inquisitor think about today's Earth? What would he do if he suddenly appeared here because of the warp and stuff?
It depends, because an Inquisitor is an extremely knowledgeable individual. He would have knowledge that the Emperor did not really reveal himself until the Age of Strife. So if an Inquisitor showed up here now, what I think he would do is he would seek out the Emperor. So he would remain hidden, quiet, and he would not really even care to judge us because he would see us as primitive. Mm-hmm. And he would really seek out the Emperor because he would be the Emperor's right-hand man. And you just discovered how the Malcor the Sigillite came to be. That's a good way to end it.
Yeah, thanks guys for those questions. Really awesome stuff there. We answer this 3 times a week, so if we didn't answer your question, comment it in the next video. As always, we post more stuff on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and Patreon, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, Patreon, Instagram, Twitter.
There you go.
3 times, so you guys remember it.
Thank you so much for everything, and we'll catch you next week.
As always, I'm Sound Alchemist.
Gersh1.
We are One Mind Syndicate, and we are out of here.